Honolulu moves to Tier 4 effective immediately, allowing larger group sizes outdoors and improved operations for businesses. Joining us is Eagle News correspondent Alfred Acenas from our Hawaii Bureau for more on this latest development. Hello, Alfred.
Aloha, Anthony. So it was a pleasant surprise last Friday, which was a state holiday, which Kamehameha Day. Honolulu Mayor Rick Blangiardi made this announcement and emphasized a modified Tier 4, keeping in mind that the reopening strategies were developed last summer when there was a lot of uncertainties, and now they put up some updated guidance. Just to highlight a few, up to 25 people are now allowed in social gatherings outdoors. And for those wishing to get married in Hawaii, outdoor venues are now permissible for up to 200 guests. 200 guests. So there's a whole lot more modifications and more guidance to follow. But let's watch some highlights on Mayor Blangiardi's speech, especially at the very end when he assures those still planning to visit Hawaii, like yourself, Anthony, that Hawaii is a safe place to visit, even against COVID-19. Check it out.
If you might have noticed in the language, we talked about a modified Tier 4, and that's because the tiers, when they were written, which were prior to our getting into office, really, quite honestly, there was a lot of guesswork in Tier 4. And so now that we got to this moment in time, it really had a lot to do with where the Department of Health was comfortable with some of the things that were put down, and probably the biggest one had to do with internal or indoor gatherings of 25. So one of the things we did is we kept that at 10 at this point in time. Is that the vaccines have proven to be highly effective, and in that regard, we are a well-vaccinated marketplace. I expect, now that we know that more than 60% of our people have received at least one vaccine, that as the model goes, that somewhere around the end of this month, maybe the latest 1st of July, hopefully that we will have been at 60% fully vaccinated. And then I think at that time, you can anticipate that we'll try to ease restrictions even more. You know, quite honestly, as I look at all of you, we're outdoors and you're still all wearing your mask. And as I drove over here, even though we've lifted the face masks for outdoor situations, I still see lots and lots of our local people walking around wearing their masks. So that's the good news, is our community, we know, is very sensitive and very aware and very respectful of taking care of each other.
So, Anthony, you know, we're still getting new cases every day. As a matter of fact, the latest is that there were 36 new cases reported today, 104 yesterday, but we're not seeing any spike of any sort exponentially. So you got your peaks and valleys, but that's what the city as well as the state is looking at, some consistency in keeping them down. And sadly, of course, 506 people have lost their lives to COVID-19, 0 today. But the big news is that 54% of the state is fully vaccinated, 60% with at least one dose of the vaccine. So that's the latest for you, Anthony, for your consideration, please.
That's really good news, Alfred. But before you go, can you tell us how Hawaii's tourism industry is coming along?
So as of last Friday, Hawaii tourism experts estimated more than 30,000 arrivals to the islands. Now, those are good numbers, given that they were numbers in pre-pandemic conditions. Now, that's pretty much those coming from the mainland U.S. Our international markets, namely Japan and Canada, our two biggest foreign markets, are still working their way up, obviously because of situations in their home countries. Given that businesses are trying to catch up, now that there's opportunities for increased capacity, now they're trying to hire more people. That alone is already a challenge when you have the HR management communities trying to help these businesses fill in some jobs. So something to look forward to, and a lot of experts believe things are going to look up and more optimistic later in the year, particularly during the holidays. Anthony.
Thank you, Alfred, for your report.